We'll be exploring key lessons from Ryan Holiday's Ego is the Enemy. This book challenges us to recognize how ego can interfere with our aspirations, achievements, and resilience in failure. You will get an overview of the entire book, chapter by chapter, extracting all the main takeaways without all the fluff, in just a few minutes. Let's jump in. Part 1. Aspire. Talk. 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 Have you ever found yourself spending more time talking about what you're going to do than actually doing it? That's the focus of the chapter. Talk, talk, talk. Ryan Holiday argues that ego tempts us into over-communicating our ambitions, which can give us a false sense of accomplishment. Talking is easier than doing, and ego thrives on the appearance of progress rather than actual results. As Holiday puts it, silence is strength. Talking is weakness. The energy we expend talking about our goals could instead be spent working toward them. Instead of announcing your plans to the world, consider this. What if your work spoke for itself? Set aside dedicated time each day to focus purely on action. No distractions, no external validation, just quiet, deliberate effort. Humility and results will always outweigh empty words. Remember, the less you say, the more room you leave for your actions to shine. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. To be or to do. Now, let's consider a crucial question. Do you want to be something, or do you want to do something? This chapter asks us to reflect on whether we're driven by appearances or genuine purpose. Ego often pushes us to pursue recognition over substance, focusing on how others perceive us rather than what we genuinely achieve. Holiday writes, "Do you want to be a person who achieves things, or the one who talks about what they intend to achieve?" The difference is subtle but significant. Pursuing external validation may feel rewarding in the moment, but it's fleeting. On the other hand, dedicating yourself to meaningful work creates lasting fulfillment. Start by writing down your long-term goals and ensuring they align with tangible contributions, not accolades. Choose mastery in one area rather than spreading yourself thin across superficial pursuits. The choice is yours every day. Be guided by purpose, not ego. Become a student. One of the most effective ways to combat ego is to embrace a student mindset. Ego convinces us we've already learned enough, but this illusion stifles growth. Holiday reminds us, you can't learn if you think you already know everything. To progress, we must adopt humility and openness, recognizing that every person we meet has something to teach us. Imagine approaching life as a continuous classroom. What's one area in your life where you could benefit from mentorship or structured learning? Whether it's reading, taking a course, or simply observing someone more experienced, dedicate time each week to improve. Lifelong learning keeps us adaptable and helps us master our craft. Stay curious. There's always more to discover. Don't be passionate. While society often glorifies passion, Holiday warns us about its potential pitfalls. Passion, when unchecked by discipline, can lead to burnout and irrational decisions. Ego disguises obsession as passion, causing us to prioritize excitement over effectiveness. As Holiday writes, detached purpose trumps passion every time. Instead of chasing fleeting emotions, ground your efforts in purpose. Ask yourself, are my goals driven by a clear vision, or are they fueled by momentary enthusiasm? Reassess your aspirations to ensure they align with purpose rather than ego. Then develop a plan and commit to it, even when your excitement wanes. Purpose provides consistency, whereas unchecked passion may scatter your energy. Follow the canvas strategy. This strategy that flips our usual notions of leadership and success. The canvas strategy encourages us to focus on creating opportunities for others. By helping others succeed, we not only support their growth, but also build invaluable skills and relationships for ourselves. As Ryan Holiday puts it, clear the path for the people above you, and you'll eventually create a path for yourself. This is a powerful reminder that greatness often starts with grunt work and humility. Think about a time when you went out of your way to help someone else succeed. Maybe you volunteered to handle an unglamorous task or provided support without seeking recognition. These actions might seem small, but they cultivate trust, respect, and future opportunities. To practice this strategy, look for ways to assist your team or leaders, even in tasks that feel mundane. Over time, these efforts create a foundation for your own growth while reinforcing the value of collaboration and service. Restrain yourself. Discipline and self-restraint are essential tools for anyone aiming to achieve long-term success. In this chapter, Holiday highlights how ego tempts us to overreach, indulge, or seek shortcuts. While the allure of immediate gratification is strong, it often undermines the patience and discipline needed to achieve enduring results. As Holiday says, restraint is a form of strength, reminding us that success isn't just about knowing when to act, but also when to hold back. Imagine you're pursuing a goal like saving for a major purchase or completing a long-term project. It's tempting to cut corners or indulge in distractions along the way. Instead, practice delaying gratification by setting clear, incremental steps toward your objective. Reflect on decisions before acting impulsively, asking yourself if they align with your long-term values and goals. This approach strengthens your ability to focus and builds a more sustainable path to success. Get out of your own head. Ego has a way of pulling us into endless loops of self-doubt or self-importance. In Get Out of Your Own Head, Holiday explains how overthinking creates imaginary problems and distracts us from meaningful action. He writes, "Our self-absorption makes us blind to the actual challenges in front of us. Instead of dwelling on internal narratives, humility allows us to focus outward, engaging with the world in a more impactful way." Think about a time when you were so preoccupied with how others perceived you that it hindered your performance. Shifting focus away from yourself toward collaboration or shared goals can be liberating. Dedicate time each day to thinking about how you can contribute to something larger than yourself, whether through helping others or pursuing a meaningful project. Mindfulness techniques can also help you reduce overthinking and maintain presence. By stepping outside our internal monologues, we can redirect energy toward positive action. The danger of early pride. Early success feels great, but it can also be dangerous. Holiday warns us about the pitfalls of early pride, which can inflate our egos and lead to complacency or arrogance. Pride creates the illusion that we've arrived, making us lose sight of the work still required. As the saying goes, pride goeth before the fall. True success, Holiday reminds us, demands humility and continuous effort. Think of early pride as a speed bump rather than a victory lap. Celebrate your achievements briefly, but don't let them cloud your judgment. Ask yourself, what's next? And focus on sustaining your growth. Surround yourself with honest feedback, friends or mentors who aren't afraid to challenge you. Their perspectives can keep you grounded and help you approach each new success with renewed humility and determination. Work, work, work. This a simple but crucial lesson. Consistent, disciplined effort is the antidote to ego. Ego often tempts us to look for shortcuts or immediate recognition, but true mastery is only achieved through relentless hard work. As Ryan Holiday writes, you can't build a legacy on potential, you build it on performance. He also reminds us, the only way to gain trust is to earn it over and over again. This chapter emphasizes the value of the process itself rather than the rewards it might bring. Think about your own life. Are you more focused on appearances or genuine progress? To avoid the pitfalls of ego, commit to a daily schedule that prioritizes meaningful work over perfectionism. Track your efforts rather than outcomes, as this will keep you motivated and free from unnecessary distractions. Remember, it's not about the recognition. It's about showing up every day and putting in the work. For everything that comes next, ego is the enemy. Whether we're experiencing success or struggling with failure, ego is a recurring challenge. It doesn't disappear. It simply changes form, making constant vigilance essential. Holiday writes, ego never goes away, it only changes form, and reminds us that the fight against ego is lifelong. This chapter serves as a reminder that ego is an ongoing threat to growth and fulfillment. When we succeed, ego might whisper that we've arrived and can rest on our laurels. In times of struggle, it might distort our perspective, making failure feel catastrophic. To counter these tendencies, reflect regularly on your motivations to ensure they align with your values. Develop a habit of gratitude. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful tools to maintain balance and humility. By staying aware of ego's presence, we can focus on what truly matters. Part 2. Success. always stay a student. Next, we explore the idea that success can trick us into believing we've learned enough. Ego resists humility, making it harder for us to embrace the role of a perpetual student. Holiday explains, it's impossible to learn what you think you already know, and highlights that the best leaders are constant learners. Even after achieving success, we must remain curious and open to new knowledge. Complacency is the enemy of growth, and the humility to acknowledge that we don't know everything is key to lifelong learning. Seek out mentors or peers who challenge your perspective and push you to grow. Dedicate time each week to study or practice something outside your comfort zone. Remember, mastery is a journey, not a destination, and learning is the fuel that keeps us moving forward. Don't tell yourself a story. Now, let's discuss the danger of crafting self-serving narratives about our success. Ego thrives on these stories because they make us feel special, but they can blind us to reality and future challenges. Holiday writes, success becomes dangerous when we start to believe our own hype. He further warns, your story is what you do, not what you tell. This chapter teaches us to focus on actions rather than narratives. Instead of celebrating past accomplishments in exaggerated terms, focus on what's next and what still needs to be done. Keeping a journal can help. Record your actions and decisions honestly without self-praise. Additionally, ask trusted friends or colleagues for feedback to keep your perspective grounded. The goal is to live a story of integrity, not just tell one. By staying rooted in reality, we prepare ourselves for whatever challenges lie ahead. What's important to you? Start by asking a fundamental question. What's truly important to you? This chapter challenges us to confront the ways ego distracts us with superficial goals like fame, money, or status. Instead of chasing what looks good, we should focus on what feels right, those things that align with our core values. As Ryan Holiday puts it, if you don't know what you're after, you'll never get it, reminding us that clarity is key to meaningful success. Take a moment to consider your top 3 values. Are your current goals aligned with them? Ego often tempts us to prioritize societal expectations over personal fulfillment, leading to dissatisfaction. Write down those values and periodically review whether your actions reflect what matters most to you. By doing so, you'll stay anchored in what's meaningful and avoid being derailed by distractions. Entitlement, control, and paranoia. Success, while rewarding, can also bring its own set of challenges, namely entitlement, an obsessive need for control, and paranoia. These traits, often fueled by ego, can undermine progress and strain relationships. Holiday warns, ego makes us believe the world owes us something and advises, control what you can, ignore the rest. Think about how these behaviors might manifest in your own life. Perhaps success has led you to expect special treatment or obsess over things outside your control. To combat this, practice daily gratitude as an antidote to entitlement. Focus on identifying what's within your power and consciously let go of the rest. This shift not only preserves humility, but also reduces stress and conflict, keeping your energy directed toward productive goals. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Managing yourself. Managing yourself is one of the hardest yet most essential skills for sustaining success. The ego complicates this by disrupting emotions, priorities, and relationships, making effective self-management even more difficult. Holiday emphasizes, self-management is a lifelong skill that ego constantly tests and asks, if you can't control yourself, why should anyone trust you to lead them? The key lies in self-awareness and discipline. Develop daily routines that reinforce emotional stability and focus. For instance, start your day with a brief reflection or meditation to center yourself. Set boundaries to protect your time and energy, ensuring they align with your goals. By mastering yourself, you'll not only navigate the complexities of success, but also gain the trust and respect of others. Beware the disease of me. Ego often takes success and twists it into self-centeredness, isolating us from others and hindering collaboration. This phenomenon, which Holiday calls the disease of me, manifests as arrogance, entitlement, and a lack of gratitude. He writes, the surest way to ruin a team is to think only about yourself, and reminds us, success is rarely achieved alone, and it is sustained by teamwork and humility. Consider how success in your life has been supported by others, whether through mentors, collaborators, or a supportive community. Actively acknowledge their contributions and express gratitude. Seek opportunities to collaborate, prioritizing team goals over personal recognition. By doing so, you not only guard against the isolating effects of ego, but also create a foundation for shared, sustainable success. Meditate on the immensity. Here's a thought-provoking exercise. Consider the vastness of the universe and your place within it. This chapter invites us to step back from the narrow focus of our daily lives and reflect on the enormity of time, space, and human experience. Ryan Holiday writes, "You are not the center of the universe," a powerful reminder that our individual concerns are often insignificant in the grand scheme of things. He continues, "Meditation on the vastness of existence humbles us and refocuses our efforts. By understanding how small we are in the larger picture, we can foster humility and gratitude. This perspective doesn't diminish our efforts, but instead reduces the stress and self-importance that ego creates. To practice this, spend time journaling or meditating on your role within a family, community, or even humanity as a whole. Dive into subjects like history, astronomy, or nature to gain a clearer perspective on life's bigger picture. This mindset grounds us, helping us approach challenges with a sense of purpose and clarity. Maintain your sobriety. Success can be exhilarating, but it can also be a trap. This chapter warns us of how the highs of success can lead to poor decisions, overconfidence, and a distorted sense of reality. As Holiday explains, sobriety is the ability to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. He also reminds us, pride is a weakness disguised as strength, cautioning against the intoxicating effects of unchecked ego. Sobriety in this context doesn't mean abstinence, but rather maintaining a clear and objective view of success. While it's natural to celebrate victories, it's equally important to stay grounded and focused on what's next. Regularly seek constructive criticism to challenge your perspective and keep balance. Reflect on past successes with gratitude, but don't let them inflate your self-worth. Remember, the work is never truly done, and staying sober ensures you're ready for the challenges ahead. For what often comes next, ego is the enemy. Success isn't a final destination, it's a milestone in an ongoing journey. This chapter reminds us that ego, left unchecked, can distort the lessons and benefits of success. Holiday writes, "Ego wants us to think we've arrived. Humility reminds us we're just getting started." He adds, "What follows success can be as dangerous as failure if we let ego take over." This idea serves as a transition point in the book, highlighting that success, while rewarding, requires vigilance and humility to sustain. Ego tempts us to rest on our laurels, but real growth demands continuous effort. After achieving a goal, set new objectives to maintain momentum and focus. Surround yourself with people who hold you accountable and encourage you to remain aligned with your values. In this way, success becomes not an endpoint, but a stepping stone to even greater fulfillment. Part 3. Failure. Alive time or dead time? This is a critical question. How do you respond to failure? This chapter teaches us that failure presents a choice. We can either use it as a lifetime, a period of growth and learning, or fall into dead time, where we passively wait and wallow in self-pity. As Ryan Holiday writes, a lifetime is when we are learning, acting, and growing, while dead time is when we are passive and waiting for something to happen. Ego often resists seeing failure as an opportunity because it feels like an attack on our identity. But every setback holds a lesson, a chance to reassess, recalibrate, and grow stronger. To embrace a lifetime, reflect on the lessons each failure offers and make a concrete plan to apply them. Use periods of transition or downtime to acquire new skills or strengthen relationships. By doing so, every challenge becomes a stepping stone toward your goals. The effort is enough. This chapter shifts our focus from results to the value of effort itself. Ego pushes us to tie our self-worth to external achievements, creating unnecessary pressure. But as Holiday reminds us, the process is the reward, and effort is enough because it's all you can control. Fulfillment comes from committing to the process, not just reaching the destination. Whether or not the outcome meets your expectations, giving your best effort is what truly matters. Set goals that emphasize the journey, those that reward persistence and growth over immediate results. Celebrate progress and milestones along the way, even if the ultimate achievement isn't in sight yet. Accepting this mindset fosters resilience and helps us reduce the fear of failure, allowing us to enjoy the work itself. Fight Club moments. Life's hardest moments often serve as the most transformative. Holiday describes these times as Fight Club moments, when adversity strips away ego and forces us to confront our true selves. He writes, "Only after disaster can we be resurrected." And adversity introduces us to ourselves. Ego resists these experiences, preferring comfort and denial to facing hard truths. Yet these moments of struggle provide unparalleled opportunities for growth. Reflect on a past failure or hardship and consider how it shaped your character and skills. Embrace challenges not as threats to your ego, but as catalysts for improvement. By confronting discomfort head-on, we emerge stronger, more self-aware, and better equipped to handle life's next test. Draw the line. Setting and maintaining boundaries is essential to preserving our integrity, especially when ego tempts us to compromise our values for short-term gains. Holiday emphasizes, know what you stand for, and don't compromise it for short-term gain. He further explains, the line is where your principles meet your actions. Ego often drives us to overextend ourselves or seek validation, but this can lead to regret and a loss of authenticity. Identify your core values and write down scenarios where you refuse to compromise them. Practice saying no to opportunities that conflict with those principles, even if they seem tempting in the moment. By drawing clear boundaries, you protect your integrity and stay aligned with your long-term goals. Maintain your own scorecard. Here's a common trap that ego sets for us: the need for external validation. This chapter reminds us that true fulfillment comes from measuring success against our own standards, not by comparing ourselves to others. As Ryan Holiday writes, the scoreboard is not your own, it's everyone else's, challenging us to live by our own metrics rather than societal or peer expectations. The ego thrives on comparisons and external metrics, often leading to unnecessary stress and dissatisfaction. Think about how much time you spend scrolling through social media, comparing your life to someone else's highlight reel. Instead, take time to define what success looks like for you. Write it down in concrete terms, ensuring it reflects your values and long-term goals. Limit activities, like social media, that encourage comparison and focus instead on personal growth. By staying true to your own scorecard, you maintain clarity and alignment in your life. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Always love. Next, we turn to love and compassion, which Holiday describes as powerful antidotes to ego. Ego isolates us, making us prioritize self-interest and pushing others away. But love fosters connection and purpose. As Holiday writes, ego repels, but love attracts, and the more we give, the more we grow. Love and empathy are essential for a meaningful life, reminding us that relationships and selflessness matter more than personal ambition. Take a moment to reflect on your relationships. Is ego getting in the way of genuine connection? Reach out to someone in your life, offering gratitude or support without expecting anything in return. Volunteer your time or resources to a cause that aligns with your values. By focusing on love, you transcend ego and create a legacy rooted in kindness and impact. For everything that comes next, ego is the enemy. Finally, we come to the book's concluding lesson. Ego is an ever-present challenge, no matter our circumstances. Success and failure alike test our character, and ego exploits both. Holiday writes, every stage of life presents new opportunities for ego to sabotage us, reminding us that managing ego is a lifelong journey. He adds, the battle against ego is lifelong, but it's also worth it. This chapter reinforces that humility and focus are essential for growth. Reflect regularly on how ego influences your thoughts and actions, and adjust as needed. Practicing gratitude daily is a powerful way to keep perspective and counter ego's pull. Whether you're experiencing success or struggling with setbacks, the key is to remain self-aware and committed to your values. By doing so, you ensure that your journey is guided by purpose, not pride. Ego is the enemy teaches us that ego is a constant barrier to personal growth, whether we are aspiring toward a goal, enjoying success, or facing failure. The book emphasizes humility, discipline, and self-awareness as antidotes to ego, urging us to focus on meaningful actions rather than external validation. By aligning our efforts with our core values and fostering genuine connections, we can transcend ego's distractions and create a life of purpose. Ultimately, the ongoing battle against ego is not just about avoiding its pitfalls, but about unlocking our fullest potential in every stage of life.